Yo man, I'm ready to make a video. Let's go.
I'm playing the game.
No, we gotta make the video though.
I'm playing the game.
I set everything up. I came over. I'm here. We're gonna make the video now. No. Stop playing it. Stop playing the game. Stop it. Stop.
Okay, fine. Hey everybody, your local trusted Peebs here, and as many of you may know, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has finally been released. I was lucky enough to receive an early copy for review along with an entire Nintendo Switch console. Pretty crazy. As a huge Zelda fan, I feel very lucky to be chosen for a review copy. I feel incredibly blessed, and I also have to disclose it for legal purposes. Product provided by Nintendo. Yay! So without further ado, let's get right into the video. The game starts with Link waking up in a cave, a scene that many will be familiar with from the trailers and pre-release coverage. We get the Sheikah Slate, an item oddly resembling a switch that serves as our map, quest tracker, and can perform special abilities like moving metal objects around. And then we're off! It's kinda similar to the very original Zelda. You come out of a cave and step into a big open world, which is clearly the focus of this game overall. Oh, and also there's an old guy, but I don't wanna go talk to him. This isn't a linear experience. I can do what I want. Pick up a stick, climb some rocks, fight some bokoblins, kick their butt. My stick broke. Run away from some bokoblins? That's what I wanted to do anyway. The point is, I make my own choices and no one can tell me what to do. Link. Wait, head for the point marked on the map in your Sheikah Slate? How about no? I guess Link takes more than one heart of damage when he falls in this game. Always good to know for later, I guess. You know what they say, you live, you learn, all that stuff, whatever. Right off the bat, the thing that sticks out the most in Breath of the Wild is just how big the open world is. If the shot looking off the cliff right after you exit the cave the first time doesn't convince you, just one look at the game map likely will. I was worried that having such a large open space would make the overall experience less memorable, but those worries have largely been quelled for me after playing for about 20 plus hours. Granted, you're not as likely to grow attached to a specific area in Breath of the Wild in the same way that you might fondly remember Hyrule Field in Ocarina of Time, for example, but that unique Zelda magic is definitely still present. And despite feeling quite different from previous entries, it still has most of the stuff we've come to love about the series, from secrets to quirky characters, and of course, familiar enemies. And even some new ones, like these tiny rock guys. Oh man, they're so cute. I don't know if I have the heart to kill them. Actually, never mind, that was fun. I'll kill them, I'll kill all of them, and I'll enjoy it. In fact, if anything, you'll probably miss more interesting things your first time going through any given area of this game than something like Hyrule Field has to offer in its entirety. And you'll have plenty of fun, unpredictable, and often hilarious things happening, like watching a moblin pick up and throw a bokoblin off a cliff, stopping for a second to take a drink only to hear a strange noise behind you, then get smashed into the ground by a giant rock monster trying to kill you, and you have to run because the only weapons you have are a rusty sword that's almost broken and a couple of freaking sticks. Or the time when I saw that guy in trouble and I stepped in and saved the day. I'm a hero! Maybe I'm misremembering that story. It was a few days ago. I'm a bit hazy on the details. There's so much to do that it's actually distracting in a good way. I couldn't tell you how many times I found myself thinking, all right, no more screwing around. I've gotta head over to insert spoilery main quest related location here so that I can— oh, what's that? A thing? I like things. I'm just gonna check it out real quick and then I'll get back to this main quest. Alright, everybody said this game was gonna be Zelda meets Skyrim. It's time for the ultimate test. Nope. I actually think that this is one of, if not my favorite open world game. I've played pretty extensively so far, and I still have not gotten tired of exploring. No, seriously, even while I'm sitting here, all I can think about is playing the game more. No, it's fine. I don't need to play. I don't need to play. I can do the video. I can do the video. While exploring the game, you'll definitely want to update your map. You do this by finding and climbing up towers a la a game like Far Cry. You can then teleport to these towers whenever you like, which not only saves time, it also helps you scout out new areas since they're so high up. Along with finding these towers, one of the things you'll probably be doing most is locating and completing shrines. Shrines are basically little bite-sized dungeons scattered across Hyrule that either have you solving puzzles or fighting mini-bosses. At first they're pretty easy, but once you get further from the first area, they start getting more and more challenging. I've actually been surprised by how different some of the puzzles are from previous Zelda games. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. I got it. Yes. Most of the shrines are completely optional, but not only can you teleport to them once discovered, beating 4 of them also allows you to either upgrade your hearts or your stamina. It's a nice way to further incentivize you to keep exploring, and the payoff makes completing them even more satisfying. Now, with such a large world map, you'll need some ways to travel across it. First of all, you can climb just about anything, regardless of how implausible it may look. You can even climb ice blocks with your bare hands. Don't ask me how that works, but good job, Link, I'm impressed. You just might want to make sure, though, that you keep an eye on your stamina and you don't overcommit, because that could be bad. You can snowboard on your shield down snowy mountain peaks, which I really love. You can glide from high places using the paraglider. Just, again, watch your stamina. And horses. You'll find wild horses throughout the game, and if you sneak up on them, you can mount and ride them. If you take it to one of the various stables in Hyrule, you can register and name your horse, which allows you to pick them up whenever you like. And here is my very first horse, Dick. What? It's short for Richard. That's a real name. Come on, grow up, people. Oh yeah, also Dick is dead. Yes, your horse can die in this game, which is both awesome and a little bit depressing. He helped me get to a place faster than I could have otherwise done on my own one time, and that was pretty cool. Rest in peace. Also, a guardian? No thanks, I don't want that. I don't want anything to do with that. Peace out, Dick. Okay, so I've been rambling on for a while now, so allow me to try and wrap this up a bit by talking about some of the things that I really liked about the game, as well as a couple that I didn't. And I'll start with the 2 things I didn't like just to get them over with. First of all, the music. It's not that the music is bad, because it isn't at all. It's just that when I think of Zelda music, I think of songs like The Lost Woods or the Flying Theme from Skyward Sword, just songs that are iconic and memorable, songs that get stuck in your head for days. But with Breath of the Wild, there isn't really too much that stands out in that way other than the main theme. It's more atmospheric. Now, it fits the game, I see why they did it, but for me, it is worth mentioning. Secondly, there are unfortunately some frame drops in Breath of the Wild, specifically in areas with dense trees, grass, and wind, and weirdly enough, the place that I noticed this the most was in the opening area of the game, the very first thing that you see. I was actually really concerned that this was something that was going to continue through the whole game, but again, after you get out of that first zone, it only happens every now and then, so it turns out that it's more of an occasional inconvenience. Still, if this is something that they could fix in a performance patch of some kind, that would be great. It's gonna bother some people more than others, but yeah, there you go. But now that we've got that out of the way, let's get back to the fun stuff. Again, pretty much everything I've talked about prior to the previous segment was stuff that I liked, but I've got a few more things that I haven't mentioned yet. First, it may be small, but I loved the disposable weapons. At first, it's a little strange that Link has all these random axes, hammers, spears, and even moving skeleton arms. But it adds variety to the combat, and the fact that they break all the time makes drops, stuff found in chests, and even rupees much more valuable. Plus, it's really fun to throw them at stuff. Eat stick, dick! Rest in peace. Secondly, cooking. You gather materials throughout the game by foraging, hunting, etc., and you can use cooking pots to make various dishes that can replenish hearts and give attribute boosts. Stuff like glazed meat, mushroom mixes, and naked food. Little pixelated naked food. My favorite. The health and stat bonuses are nice, but frankly, the little bits of food bouncing around in the pot are by far the best part about it. And on top of that, the eating animation is the most adorable thing Link has ever been animated to do. Oh, and speaking of hunting, there's something a little out of character about Link killing all these cute little animals. Oh, look, a fox just enjoying his life and yawning. Die! And with the Sheikah Slate, now Link has the power to kill multiple innocent animals at once. Bomb fishing! Actually, now that I think about it, this is totally in character for Link. After all, this is the same guy that's been slicing up cuckoos with his sword for about 2 decades. Third, the dungeons. I don't want to spoil any of them, so suffice it to say that they are fairly different from previous installments, and I've really been enjoying them so far. That's all I'll say. Fourth, the game is much harder than previous Zelda games, something I was specifically hoping for. It's not Dark Souls level of difficult by any means, but especially early on when you have very little armor or weapons, you have to be on your toes. Sometimes even against really weak enemies if they have a good weapon on them. And there is a lot of different ways you can die too. You can even be struck by lightning. Ouch. And lastly, this game is not just harder than previous Zelda games, it's also very different, which is really refreshing for Zelda. It even manages to be different while still retaining, as I mentioned earlier, that same Zelda charm we all know and love. There's even still familiar things like game mechanics, tunes, and characters. I could probably go on for hours, honestly, but instead I'll just say, if you're a Zelda fan, even a casual one, this really isn't a game you'll want to miss out on. All right, that pretty much covers it, I guess. As someone who is really looking forward to this game, and as someone who's a huge fan of Zelda in general, this game really lived up to the hype for me. It was well worth the wait, and I was not lying when I said earlier that I really want to play it, even right now, while I'm sitting here talking. But since the console also just launched, the Switch that is, and I'm not really planning on doing a general Nintendo Switch PBG video, I figured this was as good a time as any to briefly mention what I thought about the hardware itself. There aren't too many games at launch, but there are a lot of games coming out this year that I'm looking forward to, specifically Super Mario Odyssey. Definitely that game. Really want that game. Oh, and speaking of Mario Odyssey, I'm definitely doing a review of that, so make sure you subscribe to see that. Yay, right? And the actual console itself, I actually like it a lot. I've spent most of my time with Breath of the Wild so far playing on the TV, but that's just because I needed to record the footage. If I didn't, I definitely would have been taking it off the dock more and using it as a handheld. It feels really solid, the screen looks great, the battery life is good, and it doesn't have to be 5 feet away from the dock at all times, like somebody I know. Not naming any names. The Wii U. I was talking about the Wii U. And speaking of the Wii U, the Switch is actually what I always wanted the Wii U to be, so I hope it does really well. I want to see as many games on this thing as possible. And I mean, why wouldn't you? You can just take it wherever you want and play games wherever you want. It's awesome. You take it to the bedroom, I can take it to the bathroom, I can take it anywhere. No one can even judge me because they don't even know that I'm there. I'm just playing a game.
Austin, we're still rolling.
I'm playing the game, Todd! I'm playing the game! Leave me alone! Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, it really helps me out. Also, subscribe if you want to see more Switch content in the future. We also have some Switch videos on my gameplay channel, so you can check that out up here. We also specifically did a video on Event Tide Island. It's a challenge island where Jeff and I both hold separate controllers. It's really hard and fun, so come check it out. Bye!